What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media. It is Wednesday night, which means it is time for a live show. And if you guys are new to the live shows, if you're new to the channel checking out, maybe this is post, maybe this is live. We answer as many Baltimore Ravens questions as possible. So, welcome in everybody to the stream. Welcome, Jalen. Welcome, Void. Welcome, Malcolm. Welcome, Jacob. How are you guys doing? And quick, I don't know if it's a plug, but we finally got back to the Trust the Bank podcast. The podcast first segment came out on YouTube this morning, but the podcast is posted on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts. You guys can see the link. I always point the wrong way, down in the bottom right corner here. If you guys want to go check out all the segments, we got 3 more segments coming out in the next couple of days, but we answer a lot of questions over on there. You guys may ask about things we talk about. We'll probably give a little bit of insights, but we will say hey, we're also talking about this on the podcast and stuff like that. But what do you guys want to talk about? Before we get into that, Joshua, how are you doing? How's your Wednesday going? How's your hump day?
It's going pretty good. Glad to be here, doing what we do best, talking to the TTB family. Snowfall, season 5, starting tonight. So I know everybody, ready to watch that. I know you guys are ready to talk to us. We're ready to talk to you all. Don C.
Oh man, how you doing, Don C?
The living legend. How you doing, baby? It's good to be back, man. We love doing this, man. So we're gonna keep doing it. Let y'all friends know. We're trying to get up to 5,000 subscribers before the season starts. So help us out. Help us out.
Yeah.
Y'all already did a lot. We halfway there, so keep helping us.
Yeah. Big goals for the offseason, and I love this. Chris Reed brings up, bookmark it, Derek Stingley will slip and will be a Raven once the first round is over.
Hot take?
If we stay at 14. That may be something that we talked about. That may be something that you guys will get to hear all about tomorrow. But, we can definitely still talk about it. Derek Stingley Jr., cornerback out of LSU, had a I want to say it was a foot injury. Maybe it was a lower leg injury, but I believe it was a foot injury. He could slip. Daniel Jeremiah has him going at 14 to the Baltimore Ravens. So if he does slip, I would love for Derek Stingley to be a Raven. What about you, Joshua?
We've been talking about this before, between, a Kyle Hamilton, a Sauce Gardner, Derek Stingley, that will be a big upgrade and a big impact player to put in our secondary. And, that's something we've been preaching about. A lot of teams that we're playing against, they're not being the run-heavy teams that we're used to playing. What are they doing? They're throwing the pill. So what do you have to do to stop teams from throwing the pill on you? You got to get some better athletes in your secondary. So to get a Derek Stingley to put on our side, with a Marcus Peters and a Marlon Humphrey and the nickel, and maybe even Brandon Stevens still being back there as a safety, and Chuck Clark, if Chuck Clark played like he did against the Rams all 17 games, it will be awesome. So I definitely would love the Derek Stingley move. If we go Derek Stingley at 14, I wouldn't be opposed to giving up 2 third-round picks to get back in the first round.
Ooh, okay. I like that. Be aggressive. A later first-round guy could be someone like a Linderbaum. Or, an offensive lineman, Charles Cross could fall into, the 20s and stuff like that. So I do like that idea of if we do end up getting a Stingley or something like that, trading up into the first round. And Malcolm asked a great question right here. Hayden Hurst. Can we say beloved Raven? I don't know. But he was a part of a beloved team from the Baltimore Ravens. He played a great role, as that. I don't know if we can say number 3 tight end. Maybe he was the number 2 tight end. He was the balanced tight end for the Ravens in 2019. What about bringing him back so then we can get back to a 3 tight end set? In my personal opinion, I feel like we can get somebody either in the draft or in the organization already. We have Tony Poljan, the former Virginia undrafted tight end.
Mm-hmm.
We have, the weapon Josh Oliver, Eli Wolf. There's a lot of guys in the Ravens organization that they could bring up. And then also the draft, we got 10 picks. There are a ton of guys. And I don't know if he would want to come back and be a number 3 tight end because he left Baltimore to be the number 1. And Tanya brings up, he did want to leave. He wanted out because he wanted to be the number 1. And now he's not the number 1 in Atlanta. And if he could, put everything behind him, I don't think it's worth the money to have to pay him that much.
Well, see, that's the thing. Because of his productivity, because injuries and stuff like that. I mean, heck, he did get into the league late. I mean, he started, he got drafted at like 26, 27. So I mean, anything is possible. I would actually be more than welcoming to this reunion. He would just have to be more accepting of the role. I mean, unfortunately, he went down, and Mark Andrews, answered the call. It wasn't nothing towards him or anything, but it's like, where can he go to be a number 1 tight end right now and like immediately make an impact? Because the Raiders got Darren Waller. I can maybe the Chargers. If you go to the Chiefs, you got Travis Kelce, so he'd be a number 2. Maybe Philadelphia. I don't know who's their tight end out there.
I think they have Dallas Goedert is the guy they're rocking with.
Okay. Or maybe I don't know about Miami. So I mean, it's literally you had to pick your poison. And if you was to go to a New England style team with Mac Jones, you're definitely not going to be the number 1 option. You're going to be in a system where you had to understand and respect your role and know when your number is called, answer the call. So I mean, honestly, with us accepting that Greg Roman is going to be the offensive coordinator for this upcoming year, I feel like you do need a hybrid style of player if you're going to keep on running 22 set, because you have to give Lamar Jackson, in my opinion, another option if you want to flex out and make a pass play. Instead of having a 300-pounder in Patrick Ricard, you could have a 220-pound, 240 type of guy, maybe 6'3", 6'4", 6'5", that can get out there, put him in the slot, can catch the ball across the middle and give you yards at the catch as well. So, you got to look at things like that.
Yeah, and I think it's an interesting thing to bring up is not just Hayden Hurst, that we see a lot of potential Baltimore Ravens to bring back, but what about a new Raven? Chris Reed brings up a current bird, I guess we can say. Let's say if Bobby Wagner is a cap casualty, which is very well a possibility, do we sign him and possibly get Honey Badger, barring moves made to open up some cap room? I don't think we would ever get both of those players, because if Bobby Wagner is a cap casualty, which he could be, and also the Seattle Seahawks may trade Russell Wilson, they may go into tank mode because they realize that they're not, going to be that contending team even with Russell Wilson. So if they release some of those guys, yes, the Baltimore Ravens could go after a Bobby Wagner, still I think an elite linebacker. However, Bobby Wagner is going to get paid in the offseason. Like, it's not like he's a veteran that's like, oh, it's not a Justin Houston situation where it's like, yeah, Justin Houston's still good, but he's a veteran. He's really there just to sit around. No, Bobby Wagner will come back and play great football for you. And he will be probably Pro Bowl level. He will get paid a lot of money. And I don't think the Ravens have the money to pay a Bobby Wagner and a Tyrann Mathieu, because the Ravens also love to retain some guys. So they would likely want to retain a Calais Campbell or a Alejandro Villanueva or all these other guys. They like to retain people. So I don't think we could get both, but I could definitely see us going after Bobby Wagner if he is a cap casualty. What do you think about it, Joshua?
I mean, I definitely see us, going for the best player available. Definitely do some talking. I do see us actually, getting them in here in Baltimore, bringing them around the facility. But, I guess my thing is, why bring in a Bobby Wagner when you do have a young, promising core, at your middle linebacker position? Yes, I do understand Patrick Queen was, struggling at the mic, but, he started thriving at the will. But you guys have to understand, he has Mike McDonald back, who was his linebacker coach. He does have a relationship with him. So, with the different sets that's going to be put out there in this upcoming defense, I believe Mike McDonald's going to put Patrick Queen in positions where he can succeed. And he's going to teach this young man how to be a Mike linebacker and how to get after it. He knows how to fly to the ball. He has great instinct. He knows how to shoot the gaps. All he has to do is sit down and let everything come to him. And he's going to, I'm not going to say he's going to be the next Ray Lewis, but he's going to be the next Patrick Queen. So as much as I love Bobby Wagner, I I gotta believe in my young guns. I can't keep on bringing the wildly vets. Sometimes you gotta trust your young guns and let them keep on working. You on mute.
Every time, man. Every single time. I do like that mentality. I do love that mentality of we just brought in a guy that his specialty is linebackers. We brought back a former Ravens great linebacker. I mean, he could have been, we talk about CJ Mosley was supposed to be I don't want to say the next Ray Lewis, but the next head of the Ravens defense, I'll say.
Yeah.
Zachary Orr was just right there with him.
Mm-hmm.
And if not for an unfortunate injury, Zachary Orr could be an all-pro in the NFL right now at the linebacker position. So, having those minds will definitely be able to help Patrick Queen and a Malik Harrison. And if the Ravens end up trying to draft a guy, they do have Christian Welch out of Kansas State, I believe, is where he went to school, undrafted player. They have some guys in the building that can still play good. So I do like that mentality of, hey, if we don't get them, it's all good. We've got some great players, and Patrick Queen has had some low lights, but he's also had a lot of highlights. He's very inconsistent because he's inexperienced at the position. If we clean those up, he can be a great player in the NFL, and I think a lot of Ravens fans know that, and that's why we believe in him so much. And oh no, Void, you're hurting my heart. You're hurting my heart. This might be a stretch, but what do you think of trading Josh Oliver, the weapon, and a 7th round pick for a 6th round pick? Wait, for a 6th round and a 6th round.
No. Oliver in the 7th round for a 6th round. Trade that for another 6th round and a round 4 for a round 5. Trade the 5th at 4th, and next year the 5th. Hey, Void, you know what?
You started talking, and I thought you had it. I was like, "Oh, you got it. You're all good." I just lost this idea.
Punctuation, we're not even worried about that. It's just we need you to break it down a little bit more similar. I thought I almost had it, but
lost
you threw me for a loop.
Yeah, rephrase it. We'll definitely talk about it. 6th round for a 6 and a 6 for a 5 and a 4 and a 6.
It was a wild move. It definitely was a Ravens move. I'll give you that.
Eric DeCosta's probably got that written on a sticky note somewhere.
Absolutely. He's gonna put out a 1-20-second video. Yeah, so we're gonna trade the weapon, Josh Oliver, a 7th round pick for a 6th round, and another 6th round, and a 6th round for that 4th round, and the 4th round for a 5th, and the 5th for a 3rd, and the 3rd for a 4th, and then we're gonna land with another 6th round for next year. All right, Ravens Flag, have a great one. No, but seriously, man,
trade a bunch of picks for a 2nd. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay, we can talk about that. I absolutely think it's possible. I think the 2nd round could be the key to the Baltimore Ravens draft. Either they're going to trade their 2nd round pick and try and get back into the 1st, which would be key, or they're going to try and get back into the 2nd round so they can get multiple picks because, there's going to be offensive lineman prospects.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be pass rushing prospects.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be linebacker prospects. There's going to be really good corner prospects, safety prospects. There's a lot of guys in that 2nd round that the Ravens need. There's not some positions. Like, I don't think there's going to be any sort of, running back or something like that that the Ravens would trade up for.
Running backs go so undrafted. It's like, I'm so sorry, man. Like, I'm so sorry that running backs are getting the displeasure and disrespect over the past couple of years, but you can find an undrafted running back, And Heather, hey, we love the ladies of TTB. We love that y'all know about the sport. That y'all not just out here looking at the guys, the players. So we love that y'all part of the team, the fans.
All right, let's see if we got this. Trade Josh Oliver and a 7th-round pick for a 6th-round pick.
Okay.
Trade that 6th-round pick and a 4th-round pick for a 5th-rounder.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why we would trade a 6th and a 4th for a 5th, but
that's a hell of a lot.
It seems like we're trading back in that deal. But okay. The 5th-round pick and a next year's 5th with a 4th-rounder, and maybe get Jalen Ferguson for a 3rd-rounder. Trade the 3s for a 2. Okay. It was definitely better, Void. Thank you for the clarification. I don't love trading Oliver, but I understand it if the Ravens look at it like, hey, we're good at tight end. They could draft a tight end. They could say we like Poljan. We could bring in Hayden Hurst. So getting into the 2nd round, there's a lot of players. Daniel Flaherty, boom, right there, 2nd-round player, most likely. There's a lot of guys, so I would definitely be for it.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely, like you said, there's a lot of movement, but at the same time, because of all that movement, we are holding these first 3 rounds as crucial, landmarkers for this team, this upcoming team. And literally, we have a developmental schedule. So we can risk getting some developmental players. I'm just going to be real, because, I mean, when you get developmental players, if you have the right coaching in-house and those players have the right mindset, you can get the best out of them. And honestly, with a Mike McDonald and how he changed Michigan, I know y'all might be saying, well, dang, Joshua, you putting a lot of praise on Mike McDonald. Well, if y'all watch University of Michigan football, especially that defense and what they were and how they became and where they got to last year, you be looking forward to. So, and being able to take a 4th rounder and a 2nd round, maybe 3rd round projected pick to now top 10, top 20 in the 1st. I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oof. Void's going even further. We can trade one of the round 2s and Tyler Huntley in the next year 3rd-round pick up for pick 9. Can the Ravens trade up for pick 9? Now, I want to say pick 9 is the Denver Broncos. I will look it up to make sure, though. Let's see.
If EBC is truly all into,
Yes.
not losing his job, I would see. I actually would reach out to some team to see, how would they feel about it. Maybe a future 2nd and 3rd round pick. I don't know. If I can find myself back in the 1st round, I can probably score 2 defensive impact players, or you get that impact player on defense, and you get that immediate starter on offense. But we also had to put in mind that we had to see how this free agency goes. Even though I'm kind of torn, I don't know about you, McCon. I'm kind of hoping that we do make some early moves before the draft, so a lot of questions can be answered. So we can go back in our war room and re-strategize how we're going to answer this draft. But knowing the Ravens, they're probably going to wait it out, have us all in suspense, as they do any other time. So,
just like a regular season game.
Absolutely.
Ooh, this is a good question. Ekwonu and David Ojabo, or Gardner, round 1. Now, Void, is this referencing we would get both Ekwonu and Ojabo? I don't think Ekwonu is going to be available. Ekwonu could very well be a top 5 pick in the draft. I think he's, let's see, what's he at? Yeah, I see him ranked as like a number 5 guy. I mean, I just don't think we can get Ekwonu. But in terms of Ojabo versus Sauce Gardner, both great players. I wouldn't mind either of them, but I got to go with Sauce. The sauce. It's all about the sauce.
Yeah, I'm going with Sauce too. Like, I'm sorry, y'all. As much as I love pass rushes, as much as I love my big uglies in the front 7, this is a pass happy league that we're in now. This is 7-on-7 with pads. So you gotta, like I said, you gotta answer, talent with talent. And if I gotta, arguably one of the best wide receiving cores in the AFC North with the Bengals, I had to get me a corner that can stick with a Jamar Chase.
Yeah, you got to get players that can make plays. right? Sauce Gardner at the University of Cincinnati proved, not 1 year, not 2 years, but for 3 years, that he's a big-time player and he makes big-time plays. And big-time plays don't get made on him, which is even more important than him making plays.
Absolutely.
Because we've got playmakers on the Ravens defense. However, sometimes Marcus Peters lets up some things. Nothing against him. I think Peters is a great player. Sometimes Marlon lets up big-time plays. Marlon's a great player as well. We need a guy, I don't want to say we need a Darrelle Revis, but that type of player where it's like,
to be honest, we need that type of guy.
Yeah. Let's just bring back, arguably the greatest defensive season of all time, especially by a defensive back. Darrelle Revis from, what was it, 08, 07, something like that, 09. I would enjoy that. Dawson asks, what if Derek Stingley drops because of injury concerns? Top 5 to 10 talent in the draft. He is my number 5 player in this draft class when I do the rankings. So, what's funny is you guys ask about him. We talk about him in the podcast. That video will be coming out tomorrow, so we will definitely be talking about that in much more detail. But can he fall?
You know what, McConnell? Let's take it a step further. Let's take 2 injury guys in this year's draft. At 14, we're taking Derek Stingley. In the 4th round, guess what we're taking? Mechie.
Okay, John Mechie. What would be even better.
Talk to me.
All right, we get a Derek Stingley, injury prone. We get a John Mechie, injury prone. Then we get a guy that's not super injury prone, but I don't care. His name is Nick Cross.
IQ out the sky?
Oh yeah.
Talk to me.
Oh yeah. Keep him in Baltimore. Keep him in Maryland. And there's another wide receiver prospect that I want people to know about. One, I brought up Christian Watson.
Are we going to the Midwest with this?
A little bit in the Midwest.
The
state of Arkansas has a wide receiver by the name of Treylon Burks.
Okay.
Treylon Burks is the best wide receiver in this draft class.
You don't think Bell out of Purdue is not up there? Is not getting a lot of hype?
Oh, he's good. He's very good. Treylon Burks is better than Jameson Williams healthy.
Ooh.
I really believe in Treylon Burks.
You talking now? Come on now.
Like this guy is unbelievable. And I've seen people having him fall to the 2nd round. That's a guy we could get.
But the question is, with the concerns that we have at this moment in time, do we use that pick on another wide receiver that may not be used immediately?
Well, that's Greg Roman's fault that he's not used immediately. Eric DeCosta be putting the team together.
That's the duo's fault. You got to remember now, that's the duo's fault right there.
Oh yeah. How you doing, Engraven? Welcome into the stream.
What's going on, OG?
We got Sean saying Treylon Burks is a super freak. Absolutely, I couldn't agree more. And when we're looking at the wide receivers in this class, if we want to go, there's a lot of guys that it's very debatable. I've seen, I know some people that have Drake London as the number 1 wide receiver in the draft. I also see people that have him as a 2nd round prospect.
It's crazy how Drake London is number 1 when you got someone out in Ohio State, Olave.
Yeah, Chris Olave. Chris Olave coming into the year was arguably the number 1. George Pickens was like a lot of people's number 1. All of a sudden, now he's like, some people have him like wide receiver 8, wide receiver 9. Like there is a big disparity. Also, Justin Ross, I know, is really big. I love Christian Watson though, 6'5". Some call him Simi Fehoko 2.0. Some have said this. I am some, but it's okay. Simi Fehoko, when he gets his time to shine, he's going to be excellent. Woo. Turning off my notifications. Sorry, guys. Malcolm says that there aren't any like crazy big name free agent wide receivers this year, so the draft is the way to go. Yeah, the only big name. Well, there's two big names. One is Devontae Adams. The Ravens aren't getting Devontae Adams. It's just not happening.
That is a doubt.
Allen Robinson.
Allen Robinson's going to Miami.
Ooh, you think so?
Either Miami or maybe like let's take another stab at it. Let's say the Chargers.
Replace Mike Williams in San Diego. Not San Diego. Sorry, Chargers fans. That's a rip. LA. Oh, so sad. They shouldn't have left. Oh well. Oh, Jarvis is coming to Baltimore. We need a really unathletic, boring wide receiver. That is the Greg Roman guy.
Bro, Jarvis is going to Pittsburgh to play quarterback. They're not going to give my Wayne. They're not going to give my boy Dwayne a chance. So yeah, Jarvis going to Pittsburgh to play quarterback. I'm sorry.
Hey, honestly, he may be better than Dwayne. Nothing against Dwayne, but Jarvis is nice with it.
Yeah, Tyreek Woolen, 6'4" corner. Jesus Christ, we already got one that's we already got a 6'4" corner on our team. But the thing is, he got to stay healthy for this upcoming season as well. Chris Westry.
Oh yeah. We will definitely have to check out Tyreek Woolen. I wonder where he went to school. Tyreek Woolen. Oh, let's see here. Oh, Woolen. I spelled it completely wrong. Ugh.
Speaking of wide receivers, did you see any of the USFL draft?
I did not watch the draft. However, I did see a particular pond master has been drafted, Jordan Lasley.
No wonder he was working out with Lamar. It all makes sense now. I think he actually did get drafted by the team in Florida. So
shout out to Jordan Lasley. I was so excited for Jordan Lasley. Oh man, I wish he had worked out. I don't know if I was more disappointed over Jordan Lasley or Jaleel Scott.
Bro, I think I was. Yeah, I'll take Jaleel Scott over Jordan Lasley. I'm sorry. I had high hopes for him. He was like 6'5". Dude was big.
6'5". Great catch radius. We just never gave him jump balls.
It's like it's like literally the offense does not get creative enough in order for our wide receivers to succeed. And then you see our wide receivers and our quarterback, complaining, not complaining, express their frustrations. I'm sorry. I used the incorrect word about my QB1. I do apologize. He expresses his frustrations, and the coaches don't take heed to what's being said. And also, even though we're 28 minutes into the stream, shout out to the 40 viewers in the stream right now. If you're not already subscribed to the page, subscribe, turn your notifications on. This is the off season, one of the best seasons where we drop a lot of content. Especially McConnell definitely be on it. So shout out to him. Follow us on TikTok. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on are we on Instagram as well?
I mean, we technically have an Instagram. We've never posted, so if you guys want to follow it, go for it.
We're working.
Yeah. Yes. Cool.
I see people talking about Crochet. We love Crochet. We love JP too. The thing is, he's in Baltimore with a run-heavy scheme offensive coordinator. And then when he has good games, he get a healthy scratch from the head coach. So I'm sorry, man. Honestly, I would package him up and a Tyler Huntley in a deal for some picks.
Ooh, a Huntley Prochet trade. That would be very interesting. What do you think we could get for Huntley and Prochet?
I feel like we can get a solid second.
Okay.
A solid second and maybe another fourth.
I would do that.
She has a lot of more upside.
Yeah, it definitely has a lot of upside.
Like put him in New York with the Jets.
The Jets.
Or even the Jets.
I mean, Zach Wilson may be a little bit upset at that, but
I feel like if you take a Prochet and put him in the Jets, or You know what? Okay. Take Prochet, send him to the Giants. He will be the next Sterling Shepard.
Okay. I like that. I think that's very possible. Yeah.
Daniel Jones need a solid receiver, a healthy receiver. And I feel like JP2 will be that guy for him.
Ooh. The forgotten big wide receiver of the Baltimore Ravens, Benjamin Victor. Could he make the team? I feel like so many people are forgetting about him. I think so. I think he could make the team. I think he could be a big player for the Ravens in more ways than one. I think he should make the team over a Miles Boykin.
I definitely agree with that. I'm not going to argue that. And Nana, you got to understand, like, Huntley is literally, he could be a solid starter for an NFC team or even an AFC team. You just have to have the weapons around him. And so it's not, I don't want to keep holding him back here. I actually want to see the duel against him and Lamar in the NFL.
So, who are cut candidates that you're looking for? I'm looking at Brian Bulaga, CJ Mosley, or Blake Martinez. I don't want Blake Martinez. I'm a Stanford fan. You guys know this. Blake Martinez sucks. Like, he is bad. Like, he led the league in tackles one year and then got like a huge contract by the Giants, but like he is not very good. Like, yeah, he can get tackles, but he's atrocious in coverage. He's not good at pursuit angles. I love my Stanford guys, but Blake Martinez is not that guy. CJ Mosley, I doubt he would come back to Baltimore. And he would probably want a lot of money from Baltimore. And I don't think he's worth that money anymore after he had a big injury and then didn't play. Brian Bulaga, potentially a good offensive tackle. The Fullers have definitely been brought up. That's the biggest name I've seen with the cuts. What do you think, Joshua? Is there anyone that you're looking out for?
The only person I'm looking out for is Darius Smith. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay.
Be able to have another. If we don't go young edge rusher in the draft, I would like for us to have a more able-bodied defensive end on the opposite side of my young gun, Adafio Way. And I feel like, with Adafio Way and Darius Smith on the opposite sides of each other, it will be the Judon and Smith show all over again. But you feel me, better. Because Adafi is, in my opinion, he's a 10-time better athlete than Matthew Judon.
I think that's definitely fair. Zadarius Smith would be really interesting to bring back. And Don C, that's a tough get up time. So good night, Don C. We will definitely see you, sometime soon. Very love to see you in the streams and stuff like that. Let's get this. With all the speculation surrounding Eric Bieniemy and Kansas City not returning, would you guys like to see him come here as some kind of offensive assistant to help expand the offense? I would love it if he would take an assistant job, which I don't expect at all. If he's going to leave, he's going to become a head coach because teams would make him their head coach, whether it's a college team or an NFL team. He's been linked to USC. He's been linked to a lot of teams. And I think it's possible that he becomes a head coach somewhere. So I would love him on our staff. I would love for him to be our head coach. But I just don't think he'll take that negative, that downgrade. I mean, this dude's rocking with Patrick Mahomes, Tyreek Hill, and Travis Kelce as an offensive coordinator. There's no better spot to be an offensive coordinator than Kansas City. So unless he's getting a great head coaching job, he's not leaving.
Like, if I'm Eric Bieniemy, I would be going to college, honestly. And the college team I would be going to is Notre Dame. For the simple fact that Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, Brian Kelly went to LSU. And I don't know if that coaching style is going to make it in the SEC. I'm going to be real. But we shall see how things pan out. LSU is definitely are in the rebuild stage. But yeah, if I'm Eric Bieniemy, I'm going to Notre Dame. I'm definitely going to Notre Dame. The only way I'm coming to Baltimore is if you get John Harbaugh out here and you get Greg Roman out here, and I'll be moving T. Martin to my assistant head coach. well, and my offensive coordinator. You know, it will be finally a new philosophy, finally a new time, a new day and age in Baltimore offense. It won't be mediocre anymore. You'll finally find that balance between a beautiful offense and a rugged style defense. So that's how I'm looking at it.
And he says, would Daniil Hunter be too expensive? If cut, him in a way could be devastating off the edge and open up the options at 14. Would be devastating. Two of the fastest defensive ends in the NFL. However, he would be extremely expensive. He would probably get $15-16 million, which the Ravens are not. I don't think they're looking to pay out to any player in the free agency class.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, we gotta see how these offseason moves are made. Then, you know, like I said, McConnell and myself, we'll go back in our war room and, you know, think like Eric DeCosta and the rest of the team, how will we attack this year's draft? Because, you know, if I'm a new defensive coordinator, if I'm a new offensive coordinator, I would want this draft to be more pertain to my needs. I'm gonna be honest. So if I'm Mike McDonald, I'm like, hey, you know, I know you guys been struggling. You're gonna give me some young guns to add to this defense that I'm trying to build here so we can, you know, make a run. That's just me, you know. So I know we're talking about offensive linemen. I know we talk about secondary. I know we talk about linebacker. I know people even, you know, bring up the fact about a tight end, maybe running back, things of that nature. But if I'm Mike McDonald, like, hey, I would want to know, like, hey, those first two picks, or at least those second round, maybe third round, are you gonna give me some defensive guys? Just let me know. I'm gonna sit back and wait with the rest of y'all, but some defensive guys, you know, maybe a corner, maybe an edge. I'm not pushing the issue, but Eric, you got me, right? You got me.
Oh yeah, Eric's got you. Heather says if Ronnie Stanley's not reliable, you know, he can't come back for injury, or, you know, they think, hey, maybe it's week 8 before he's able to return. Who are we going to get to take his spot on the left side of the offensive line if we let Villanueva go? One, we should let Villanueva go regardless. But do we draft a left tackle? Do we go sign somebody? Do we have a Macari step in on the left side? Do we have I know you love him. Who's the former Bronco that we have on the roster, Joshua?
I don't know that dude's name. All I know is
Mr. James.
Jesus Christ. Bro, like the thing people have to realize, like, I wouldn't say Ronnie Stanley's gonna be unreliable. He got hurt early, so he's been recovering from that. And obviously there's something been going on inside the facility in order for us to bring in a new athletic trainer that's going to be head over our doctors and everything in house. So bringing in a guy with a track record that was able to bring back 3 of Tennessee Titans star players in playoff time, there's got to be some you know, reasons we made this move, you know. So I definitely feel like, you know, I feel like Ronnie will be ready by, you know, week 3, week 4. And guys, you also have to remember this schedule this year is not a gruesome schedule like this past season because we were a losing team. This is literally a losing schedule for losers. But it's more of a developmental schedule for us, honestly. So, you know, I don't see why everybody can't come back healthy and play a top form.
Yeah, I mean, this schedule is designed to help worse teams play against worse teams. And the Ravens last year were not a great team. So it is interesting to think about. In terms of Ravens roster decisions, Deshaun Elliott, major question. Do the Ravens run it back with Elliott, who has really only played one season in his NFL career? One full season. Out of Texas. He showed so much promise. But do we bring him back, Joshua?
If Eric DeCosta was willing to give Tavon Young another year, I feel like Eric DeCosta might give Deshaun Elliott another year. But Tavon Young actually made it through this full season. The thing about Deshaun Elliott is Sometimes if you don't rehab yourself correctly and have the proper nutrition, sometimes you just injury prone. And I feel like, unfortunately, for a guy of that heart and a guy that has that ability to make things happen, um, I don't think he's coming back. We are in a win mode now. We want to be Super Bowl contenders. I think we're tired of being. I feel like we're tired of getting into the club and getting kicked out as soon as we get in. So
Yeah.
you literally have to put guys that are healthy, that have a strong work ethic, have a drive and determination. I'm not saying Deshaun doesn't have it. I'm just saying, because of his track record, it's not going to be beneficial to us right now.
I think that's fair, and I think he's also going to get a fair amount of money because of the promise that he's shown. And the Ravens don't want to have to pay a lot of money to a guy they don't know exactly what they're going to get out of him when, like you said, they're trying to contend, win now mode. That's what it is. So, I just don't really think he's going to get there. Get there with the Baltimore Ravens, and I wish him the best. I'm rooting for him, but I just don't know. I just don't know if Baltimore's the right spot for him.
Yeah, absolutely. Dawson.
I hope we cut Derek Wolfe. Let Isaiah Mack, the Texas A&M man, let him play. He was generating pressure on Joe Burrow in the second game against the Bengals. I do like Isaiah Mack, and Derek Wolfe didn't play last year.
Yeah, he already had one injury listed, but supposedly I think he had surgery as well.
Yes.
On another injury.
The good old Ravens injury where they say it's one injury, but actually it's another.
Yeah.
And then it ends up being more serious because he got designated to return from IR. And then he had season-ending surgery like a week later, and it was like, wait a minute, what?
Right. Like, we don't have the time to keep on letting guys hold up space on the roster. Like, we can get guys that we can get on the field. Isaiah Mack did definitely a good job. Heck, we saw Jelly Roll Justin Ellis, out there, taking his angles, chasing down the plays. So, I mean, when you get guys like that shows a lot of effort and that can play through the whole 17-game season, why not keep them on the team? Versus, having someone take up a spot. I don't know if they're still getting paid injury when they're injured, but no, I need guys ready to get out there, ready to be, ready to fight, and go and strengthen honor, with their brothers, man.
Yeah, I like Derek Wolfe as a player, but I just don't think he is necessary for the Ravens. Dawson brings up he wasn't missed. Could we have used him? Yeah, but was it something where I was watching the Ravens and saying, "Oh, if Derek Wolfe was there, we make that play"? I don't think so. I don't think I was ever looking at it. Nana says, if that dog on Ronnie Stanley can't play, go back and get that money he just signed for. All of this banged up players unable to play, get them out of here. Yeah, I mean, it's not worth keeping players that aren't going to see the field. The best ability is availability, no matter how good you are. Mm-hmm. So that is a fair statement. Now, hopefully Ronnie can come back, but if he can't come back, then the Ravens do have to move on. But I expect him to be able to come back.
Yeah, I mean, like we always say, the good thing was, even though it was a bad thing, he aggravated the injury, but we also have to understand too, when guys are coming back for injuries, sometimes they think they can go. Sometimes these doctors and physical therapists clear them before they actually, fully heal. So, it's a lot of blame to go around. I know you all probably watch Any Given Sunday. So we done seen, from the movie perspective, but also I know it, translate over to the real world as well. Certain things goes on in the facilities that we don't see, and these guys continue to play. So if Ronnie Stanley truly, fully rehab, I know I think this surgery, it was a cleanup surgery type, and he's just been
Yeah.
rehabbing ever since. So, maybe we can see him. Like I said, maybe week 1, week 3. It won't be a strain this year to get him out there immediately with the schedule that we have upcoming. So I wouldn't hold it up against him, but I would definitely see about restructuring his contract and give him some more guaranteed money so we can have some cap space.
Yeah, and I'm not worried about Ronnie Stanley week 1 through 4. I'm worried about having Ronnie Stanley for the playoffs. That's what matters, right? Like last year, would you rather have had, a healthy, I'll say Tyree Phillips at guard because he was playing great, in the beginning of the year like we did, or at the end of the year when we needed offensive line help because we were trying to really get in and make that push? You want him at the end. So Ronnie Stanley, if he's not able to come back immediately, that's okay. As long as he's able to come back at some point.
Caleb, that's a big stretch. Did you not see that we had our center crying on his post interview? If we're not going to spend money on a center, what makes you think we're going to spend money on Trent Brown? Granted, that would be a big upgrade to this offensive line. Big upgrade. But we're not putting out that type of money for offensive linemen, sadly.
Yeah, the Ravens are already paying Ronnie big money. We just offered a contract to Kevin Zeitler. We have rookies. The Ravens like to build up their own offensive line. That's what they like to do. So I don't think that we will go after Trent Brown. I wouldn't be against Trent Brown, but
no, not at all.
I don't think we'd go after him. Is there anything else you guys want us to talk about? We haven't been going on for very long. 45 minutes is a relatively long time, but is there anything else you guys want us to go on about, talk about, things like that? Quick plug, the next segment of the podcast that we recorded is going to come out tomorrow. I believe this segment is on mock drafts that we've seen on the Baltimore Ravens and talking about those picks and analyzing them. So, if you guys want to check that out right now, you guys can see the, check out the full podcast on the audio files and stuff like that. And KJ asks, how was your day? Well, thank you, KJ. My day was pretty good. I didn't have one of my classes today, so I woke up and, went to the library, left for the library at like 7:30 and then, did my thing. And here we are. I was watching basketball, having fun. I'm honestly watching basketball right now. There's an insane game going on between they're in overtime, Joshua, with Providence and Xavier. It's overtime, tie game in overtime with 30 seconds left. Great game going on.
Was it UConn that gave Nova the big upset yesterday?
Yeah, UConn took down Villanova in like a 1-point game, or maybe it was a 2-point game. I think it was a 1-point game though. Great game. It was. So
the head coach got kicked out the game, right? Like I think UConn said, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you saw Shefty, Adam Schefter, actually said, if I'm Lamar Jackson, I wouldn't be signing a contract until the field is corrected. I'm like, I don't know. I didn't get the whole slew of the conversation or how that came about. But I guess my question would be, if you're Lamar Jackson, what needs to be done in order for you to sign a contract extension?
If I'm Lamar Jackson, you fire Greg Roman. You fire Greg Roman. I'm here. I'm staying. Like, I'm set. That's all I need. Get me a system. Get me an offensive coordinator that can develop me. Not whatever the Ravens have. A hindrance. What about you, Joshua?
I like that. I mean, honestly, I'll probably say the same thing. If I'm Lamar Jackson, I'll say, listen, I've been running the system for maybe about 3 years. I'm grateful, that he came in, he helped us out. But right now, if I'm saying I need help or, defense is seeing what we're doing, and you guys don't let me call my own audibles, or I keep constantly get the play in late, something's got to change. I actually want to do, I actually want to drop back. I actually want to do pro sets. I actually want to do some play action. Can you find me an OC that can help provide me with that type of offensive style? So, y'all did see what I did out in Louisville, right? Okay. I can get Marquise to 1,000 yards, right? So let's make some things happen. And make sure you take care of my boy, Hollywood, before I sign this contract as well. And I'm here. I'm here. And we're going to get the Super Bowl.
Absolutely. I mean, that's what you want. And quick update, there's 1.8 seconds left in this game. Still tied in overtime. Incredible game. They're reviewing step out of bounds. Whew. Very, very, very intense. Adit says Schefter's just mad he won't be able to break news about a Lamar contract. Mike Florio is already insufferable about the need to have an agent. Yeah, I mean the I don't know, what are they called? Insiders. They need their source. Mm-hmm. Lamar doesn't have a source unless you're like friends with his mom or friends with him. Like, you don't get to talk to anybody because the agents talk to the sources because they're like, hey man, say he's nearing a deal because so say these teams because we want more money to come from it. So they leak that information. Lamar's like, nah, you get no info from me. No info.
Yeah, absolutely. Nana, you got to keep Marquise here. If you don't keep Marquise here, him and Lamar going to Miami. I'm sorry. Yeah. But I see someone asked if we should draft. Not draft. Make the trade for Saquon Barkley. I'm gonna be honest. As exciting that would be, Saquon is not the same Saquon. And on top of that, you got J.K. and Gus. Gus. Sorry. Arguably, I feel like two guys that's going to be in the conversation for comeback player of the year.
Yeah, I agree with that. But, Andre Mears, appreciate the unique question. We love getting these things. I feel like so many people ask the same questions, and nothing against those questions. There's a lot of great questions we get all the time. Hayden Hurst, Greg Roman, all that type of stuff. I'm glad you brought something new to the table. Saquon Barkley. I'm going to agree with Joshua, though. I just don't think it's really worth Saquon for the Ravens because, he's just not as dynamic as I think a lot of people expect him to be. And Tanya brings up, he does stay hurt. He does get hurt a fair amount, but I like the concept. I do like the concept.
Matter of fact, let's do this. Anytime a defensive end can chase down your running back.
No, and that defensive end is was it Chase Young or was it Myles Garrett?
I think it was Chase Young. We're talking about a 6'6". We're talking about a 6'6", maybe 285 specimen that was running stride for stride. I'm like, yeah, okay. I'm going out of bounds. If I'm Saquon, I'm like, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
No. Here you go, buddy.
Update on the Providence game. Double overtime. Incredible game going on, guys. If you guys have CBS Sports Network, I recommend turning it on. J-Mill says the Chief just released Hitchens, the middle linebacker. For some reason, I read MLB as like Major League Baseball, and I was like, Chiefs, like the Chief. I was like, is that a team nickname? And I was like, if you guys don't know, I'm a Braves fan. So I was like, is that something to do with the Braves? Something like that? I don't know. But no, yeah, the Chiefs just released Anthony Hitchens, their middle linebacker.
Off the field issues like during the year?
I will look it up and see if there's anything.
It was like one guy that literally had some issues with his, the mother of his child. And I don't know if it was for the Chiefs. I know it was like a defensive player. It had to be like a young guy.
Let's see. I'll see if I can read something about him really quickly. No, I'm keeping my ad blocker on. I'm sorry. I usually don't think of it. I'm not seeing anything about any sort of off the field issues in this article.
Okay.
So he could be interesting. Interesting guy to keep an eye out for.
Okay. I know. Is he under 30?
He was drafted in like 2011.
Okay.
So let's see. How old is he? 29. 29 years old. And Jonathan, I'm not a big fan of Leighton Vander Esch. I think he's a Cowboy. Thus, he is going to be heavily overrated. Not saying all Cowboys are bad, but he had his rookie year, and everyone was like, this is the best linebacker ever. And it was like, he had a good rookie year. Nothing against that. But like, he's not elite. And he's going to get paid a lot more than he should, in my opinion.
Man, Orlando Brown's going to the Bengals.
Blasphemy.
Yo, I mean, he already got disrespectful, in regards of, I want to play left tackle and get paid left tackle money. So why not keep the train going?
Potentially. Oh man. All right, guys, we're creeping in on the 1 hour mark. Is there one final question you guys want us to go over? Anything like that? And once again, if you guys want to check out the podcast, next segment will be out on YouTube tomorrow. The audio version is already out for the next 3 videos that'll be posted on the channel. You can listen to them right now on Spotify, on Apple Music, all that stuff, or Apple Podcasts, because a lot of you guys are I don't want to say new, because this channel is pretty new. It's we just had our 1 year anniversary, but in the off season, we record podcasts twice a week because there's not as much to talk about. So we talk about it together and are able to actually segment it out. And it's a lot of fun. So I do recommend you guys check it out, as a full show. Tom's too savage. Every Cowboy player is overrated and overpaid. I'm not against that take. I'm definitely not against that take. There's a lot of guys that get heavily overpaid, like Byron Jones. But all right, guys, we are at 58 minutes in. Final guy we talk about, I think, Solomon Thomas, defensive lineman, a former Duck, former Niner, former top 5 pick. I want to say he went 2 or 3 to the Niners. What do you think?
As much as appealing as that is, I'm gonna say no. Like, honestly, I don't know what it is. For me right now, I think it would be best to keep going young on that defensive side of the ball. You just gotta you just gotta keep going. You gotta feed the beast. And right now, you have a energizing, ready to go offensive coordinator, a young offensive coordinator. You may never know. Might be John Harbaugh's successor as head coach. You never know. You gotta feed that. You gotta feed that young man by continue giving him younger people. That's who he just related to, in his past defensive coordinating debut. So in order for him to keep on growing, you got to give him some people that he can continue to relate to, and that may correlate with him.
Yeah, I do like the idea of going younger, and Jay Miller, I do agree with this. The one spot a vet is needed is maybe next to Patrick Queen. I think that's very fair.
Okay.
I do like getting younger on the defensive line though. Solomon Thomas could be a good spot, for certain defenses, for certain schemes. I don't know if he would be a great player for the Ravens. I think the Ravens could use their money somewhere else, but I think that's going to do it. We're right at an hour in. Thank you guys for coming once again, coming through on these Wednesday night streams, asking great questions, giving us great topics and stuff like that. We always have fun doing it. Thank you everybody for coming through, and we will see all of you again next time.